YouTubers, Baldrhino back with another video, and we're going to talk today about the Hall of Fame, YouTube Hall of Fame nominees. And so let's do this. So first, obviously I'm a card person, baseball card. I love vintage, I love new cards, I love breakers. I just love everything about it. And so I'll try to reward those channels, at least those that I watch. I think they're creative, they're informative, they're important to the hobby, and many of which everybody watches these channels anyway. But the first I'd like to nominate is Bob Lewis. And so he's not everybody's cup of sugar, but he is funny, he's innovative, he's unique, he's informative, and the hobby has got to have room for somebody like that in the Hall of Fame. You know, the Hall of Fame is filled with characters as well as elite performers, of which I think he's both. So that would be the first person I would nominate. The second is Filmington, and I think he might rub some people the wrong way. You know, he certainly profits from the hobby and his channel, but I think that his content is so elite and so well thought out and informative that, you know, that just really doesn't bother me that he profits from it. I feel like he had one video recently in particular, how healthy is the hobby. There's some really smart stuff in there and really informative, and it makes you think about what you're buying. And I appreciate that because I sometimes can be an impulsive purchaser or impulsive seller, and you always want these folks that make even-minded videos that help you think through things before you have 970 Nolan Arenado cards. There he is, the GOAT. By the way, I am on a much stiffer medication now, given the trade rumors, and hopefully I don't have to up the medication or have full-blown therapist and other things of that nature. Just anyway, back to the video here. Third, I think everybody's nominee is Blue Jacket 66. I think that I'm just blown away that a guy like that would even do YouTube videos and have a collection like that and be so willing to share his information. And I mean, just to have a collection like that and to feel like you'd want to share it and you'd want to share your knowledge like that. I mean, he'd be a good guy to meet, just to, you know, see if he's real, because he sure seems like that when he does videos, that he's genuine, and man, is he good for the hobby. And man, he shows things that you're just never going to see and never learn about. And so that would be another one of my nominees. And in that same vein, I really like, and this might be a little, maybe people don't know about them, but I love vintage oddball cards. That would be another one that I would nominate. I appreciate people who collect things and have a total command of what they're collecting and are willing to share that information with people. You know, maybe not have the most flamboyant videos and things of that nature, but I would encourage you to watch vintage oddball cards, because there are a lot of very cool videos, very rare cards, and just an incredible variance of what he collects, and you can learn about if you're at all. And that helps when you go to flea markets and people don't know what they have, and or they may know, and you tell them, hey, you know, that card's not worth $3, it's worth $25 or whatever. League of Their Own is another nominee for me. Caitlin is, it's like my daughter says, you know, you just can tell that she has a good spirit about her, that she's a good person, and that she wants to do videos well, wants the hobby to grow. She wants to give back. She appreciates it. Her videos are awesome, and so she's got to get in. But I'm only one voice. Blinded me with refractors. She blinded me with refractors. I mean, Andy needs to get in. He's got a spectacular channel. He was really good on one of Filmington's recent videos, and it kind of reminded me that I just don't have a lot of time to watch every video of his, but he has a great name, great content, great mind, and you know, he's a seller. And the hardest thing I have to deal with in this hobby is the selling of a card. When is it appropriate to sell a card? You know, I had a Joe Torre vintage breaks card. The break was 20 bucks. I sold the card for almost $700. Nobody's going to do that regularly. So when should you sell cards? And I think sellers like Andy are really valuable to have out there, because they're not like these guys that create the channel specifically to make money, when I think we all know who those guys are. Andy's one of those guys that wants you to educate you too. Vintage Card Curator is another, and I may be mentioning some people that are already in the Hall of Fame. I looked all over the net. I couldn't find who was already in the Hall of Fame, but this particular channel has been instrumental in, I don't know, this is just my take on it, but people who need to know about how to keep the hobby clean and are looking at videos to kind of learn more about it, maybe at the federal level, maybe at the law enforcement level, are probably looking at Vintage Card Curator's channel. And I think in a way, you can say, well, he's not doing traditional videos, but he's doing those that are helpful to the community, keeping it safeguarded, which I think could be the most important, because I talk about this on my channel sometimes, and that I don't want it to go back to where everybody's selling vintage cards or non-graded cards, and everything's trimmed, everything's colored, you have no idea what you're buying. And so we need the graders to be held to account, and people who do bad things to held to account. And I really appreciate Vintage Card Curator. And my nominees are not in any particular order, except in this case. Vintage Card Curator, I feel like, should really be in there if he's not already. Another one that may be in already, as I love breaking. I think the breakers are so instrumental to the hobby's health. If you ever worry about the health of the hobby, watch the breakers. If they start going away, then there's going to be some pain coming. So Up North Collectors is one that I would also nominate if they're not already in. Great channel. They break everything. Good vibes from them. Good people. Father-son team. I really like them, and think they're valuable and worth watching. And then lastly, I like guys that grade cards. I love the PSA reveals. I love folks that just grade things that they think might have value, because that's kind of what I do, with the exception of Nolan Arenado and a few other players. I don't really quote-unquote collect them. I do try to move the cards. So LA Collector is one that I really like. The variability of what he puts out there, what he grades, it's not always brand new. He'll grade vintage, anything, and he's very knowledgeable. And I think that I like the tempo of his videos. It's not drawn out, shows the card, says a little something, boom. So I try to tailor mine after him a little bit. So in review, Bob Lewis must get in. Blinded Me with Refractors, Up North Collectors, LA Collector, Filmington, Blue Jacket 66, League of Their Own, Vintage Oddball Cards, and Vintage Card Curator. So thanks again to Baseball Collector for doing this, and everyone who watched the video. And please pray for the GOAT that he stay where he is. All right, take care.